recording this Q&A. This is actually the second time I'm doing this. I wasn't happy with how it went the first time, and it's been a couple of weeks since then, and now it's just on my mind and I want to get this over and done with. So, welcome to the annual Q&A. And it's annual because last year I said inaugural, and in my head that means that it now has to happen on a regular basis. And of course last year, if you watched that one, I ate some cake, I think. I don't have any cake today, but I do have chocolate, and I also have a cup of tea. And because I already recorded this, I have thought about the answers, and I have seen some of the questions already, even though they were sent anonymously. But what I really wanted to do this time is kind of have a little think before I was going to answer, so that I didn't ramble too much, and also so that I could actually say everything that I wanted to say. I'm also using this little microphone because my husband is currently playing D&D online, and every now and again they have a big laugh or something happens, and yeah, I don't want that to come through in the audio. But what I am realizing though is that a lot of other YouTubers, they actually clip this onto something and use it like on a stick. But I'm trying to look around my house and figure out what I can actually attach this to so that I can have something larger to hold. Let me find a pencil or something. Does that work? I feel like that works. First things first. Hello, hi, welcome. If you don't know who I am, I'm Steph. I make sewing videos and other videos from time to time. I have been a little bit slack lately, but not because I've been lazy. I just have a lot of other things on. If you don't know, I work full-time in architecture. I also have recently started taking Japanese lessons, so that is taking up a little bit of time on a weekend when I would usually spend sewing or editing. The other thing is that I have a bit of a sniffle. I don't know if I'm sick or if it's just allergies or something, but excuse me if I sniff a little bit during this video. I'll try and cut out most of them if I can, but please bear with me. If you've been here for a while, you know that I like to ask for questions through Not Gonna Lie, because I know that sometimes people don't like to put their name to things, which is totally fine. When I did that, I got a lot of kind of strange questions, being like, why you archive all your posts? People saying you're single, is it true? Are you looking to date anyone? You're always with someone new. Who are you closest to right now? You probably have so many options. Tell me if you're single. I feel like there was another person that asked me through Instagram, am I single? What did they say? I think I have a screenshot. They asked me, are you married? So to put all of those questions to bed, yes, I am married. I've been married for 3.5 years. It'll be 4 years in December. I love my husband very much. This is a picture of us on our wedding day. He doesn't like to be involved in my videos. That's just like a decision that he makes, and he has asked me to not include him so much, which I totally understand, because not everyone likes to be on the internet in the same way that I do. That answers those questions. Yes, I am married. No, I'm not single. But whoever said we should go watch a movie 3 months ago, sure, let's go watch a movie. What do you want to see? I also got some cool questions from Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me there. I don't post that often. Again, I'm very busy. I have a lot going on in my life, and most of the time I really I need to learn how to not do as much stuff, but I don't know if it's the ADHD or just my brain or just how I am. I feel like I'm just always doing a lot of stuff at once. By the way, look how long my hair is. It's actually kind of freaking me out how long it is. But I did also crack the code on bleaching it myself. Looks a bit orange in this light, but in the daytime it looks quite blonde, which I'm very proud of. Anyway, one of my friends, Yash, asks me, how's life going? What's the next thing in life you're chasing up to? Yash and I went to uni together. Hello, Yash. He has always been one of my big supporters of my channel, which is really cool. The next thing I'm chasing up to is probably registration for architecture. A lot of people don't know this in Australia, but you have to study for at least 5 years, and then you have to spend at least another couple of years getting enough hours. That's kind of like a driving logbook when you have your L's. You have to do a bunch of hours against criteria, then you have to do an exam, and then you have to do an interview to then be able to call yourself an architect. So that is the next goal for me. It's been a very long journey. I started architecture in 2017, so think back to whatever you were doing in 2017. That's how long I've been doing architecture for, and it's only the last almost 2 years that I haven't been studying, which is kind of crazy. I did take 2020 off studying to go and get some experience. That didn't really work out because not a lot of firms were hiring. I did get some experience, but not in design. I feel like though, wherever life takes me, it all kind of works out. Me and my husband were talking about this recently, whereas like I have been struggling with things at certain times to do with architecture, but I put my head down and I figure it out, and I'm really glad that I can do that. I am worried about the reflection of my glasses, so I'm going to take them off. I hope that I look okay. It's like almost 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. But I'm determined to get this video to you guys. Righty, the other things that I'm looking forward to in life is the next thing. I'm actually kind of trying to focus on enjoying not studying. I'm trying to enjoy having my weekends available to spend how I want, to do sewing, to see friends, to study Japanese. And then I think that the next phase of life, after the next year or so, after I've done registration, I really just want to embed into kind of my career, I guess. Yeah, I don't really think I've ever thought of myself as a real career-driven person until I started architecture, which is kind of different and new. My friend Darren, who I love very dearly, he asks, how do I be as cool as you? And I would say to that, Darren, what you got to do is go and get lots of tattoos. And it's only funny to me because he is absolutely covered in tattoos. But yeah, I have been getting more tattoos lately, much to the dismay and disapproval of my mother, among other people. I don't know if I should go into it more, but it's really just a point in my life where I want to start to embody the vision that I've had for myself for a really long time. I used to judge people that had tattoos in a negative way, and that was something that I think I had picked up just from, you know, society and the way that I had been brought up. But then I realized that it's not just ne'er-do-wells that have tattoos. Like, very intelligent people, very thoughtful, amazing people can have tattoos. Just because you have markings on your body doesn't make you any less of a person. I also wrestled with it for a really long time because I love going to Japan and I love going to onsens. But in Japan, you can't have tattoos if you want to go to onsens. Like, some of them you can, but yeah. So I had to kind of just accept that I was gonna not be able to go to all of the onsens that might be available, which is a shame because I really do love that part of Japanese culture. But hopefully one day that society will relax a little bit. Anyway, that's how you be as cool as me, Darren. You just get lots of tattoos. I think the other thing though about being cool, and I have had people tell me that they think that I'm cool, and that's just like the weirdest thing to me because I've never thought of myself as a cool person. I don't think of myself that way. And I think it comes down to really not fitting in society that well, and I've never felt like I've fit in very well. The more I understand myself being autistic and stuff, the more I can see where I can fit in into certain parts of society. But I think that because I just decided that I didn't fit in, and I accepted that I didn't fit in, I kind of didn't care about that validation anymore. And I think that maybe contributed to people thinking that I'm cool. I don't know. You gotta do what you want to do in your life, and some people are going to respect it, other people are not. Some people are going to think it's cool, even if you don't think it's cool. That's how you be as cool as me. So, also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, this question won't make any sense. So make sure you go follow me now so that you can see these stories. But Dress Ex Machina, whose name I think is Donna. If it's Donna, hello Donna. If it's not Donna, hello, sorry that I got your name wrong. She asks, what is the origin of your view from the series? So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I do these stories pretty much every day where I have a view from the morning, a view from the afternoon, sometimes a view from the evening, sometimes other views, but most of the time it's view from the morning, view from the afternoon. And the origin of this, I can't even remember how long I've been doing this for. Probably, 4 or 5 years. I used to, going back to the thing about being cool, I used to share my cool, here we go. I used to share a photo that I had taken at that moment, and I would often put up the song that I was listening to at the same time because I thought that I had really cool, great, eclectic, amazing taste in music, and so I would want to show to the world. I want to prove myself. I want that validation, okay? I want that validation that I'm cool. So I would include the song that I was listening to at whatever moment for that Instagram story. And I started with one that was, I thought of the song by Arctic Monkeys called View from the Afternoon. And from there, that's basically where it started. I think, pretty sure the first time I ever put View from the Afternoon was when I had also the Arctic Monkeys song. And now I do it pretty regularly. I go through phases where I do it regularly, more regularly than others. And yeah, that's the origin of this series. So if you want to follow me on Instagram and see what I get up to day to day, that's how you can do that. And also you can come and judge me and my music taste and see how good or bad or weird it is. Oh, while I'm munching on this chocolate, I will say though that if you follow me on Instagram and you see those stories from time to time, just remember that it's still like a curated thing that I'm sharing. I've had a couple of people over the years, friends, like very close friends, reply and kind of say like, wow, your life looks like it's so amazing. But I think that part of the reason that I like to share these views from the morning, afternoon, whatever, is that sometimes I struggle to be in the present and appreciating what I have, even when I'm having a good time or a shit time. Often when I'm having a shit time, it's hard to, just as everyone struggles with this, it's hard to remind yourself of the good things. And so that's what those kinds of posts sometimes are about. Yeah, I don't know, it's hard, this world that we live in where people only see one part of us. And unless you're truly integrated with others' lives, it's very easy to assume that what you see is what you get, because it's so often not the case. And it so often leads us to compare what we're going through with an unreality of someone else's life. So yeah, just take it all with a grain of salt if you do see those stories, okay? I'm pretty sure I know who this one is from, even though it came through anonymously. The question is, has my favourite model retired? I think it's from my friend Murray, who I have done a couple of photo shoots with over the last few years. He's amazing. He reached out to me a few years ago now. I think it was during COVID, or maybe it was just before. He contacted me about doing a nude photo shoot, which I was just kind of like really scared and nervous about. I thought he was just like a total creep. But I looked through his stuff and it seemed like he does these really amazing artistic nude shots. So I thought, you know, what the fuck? I'm just going to go do it because life is short and I'm only going to have this body once. Might as well, you know, capture it for posterity. Is that the right word? I think it's just because posterity and posterior are so close. They must be close in like etymological origins. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, I was a little bit scared about it, but frankly, those photo shoots changed my whole perception of my body, which was kind of cool. It's also difficult to like say this out loud. Not a lot of people know this, but I have had my issues with my body over my entire life. One of my earliest memories as an 8-year-old is when I commented about my fat thighs. I'm not asking for sympathy from anyone, but I did have a lot of issues for many, many years, and part of the process of healing and rediscovering a different way of accepting and loving my body was through these photo shoots with Murray. I won't say that I have retired, but I will say that I have kind of lost interest in that sort of world. I tried to do some sort of modelling for a while, and I never booked a job, and you know what? I decided that I was just going to focus my energy on things that I actually cared a bit more about. I think maybe the way that I audition is just a bit too weird, and I think that you really have to get to know me before you can actually like have faith that I'm going to perform well on a job. I don't know. I'm not going to say no to more photo shoots in the future, but for now it's not something that I'm like super focused on. Okay, next question. Oh, so this one was really great. It came through on Not Gonna Lie as well. This person asks, what are you doing to get over any seasonal depression since winter is coming for you, if you have any? So when I put the call out for questions, it was a few months ago. So winter was definitely on its way. Winter is now on its way out because it's already the middle of August, but this week has been particularly rainy and cold. Apparently we've just had the wettest start to August in Sydney on record, which is kind of crazy. I'm sick of the weather. I'm sick of the rain. I did see this question come through when it came through a couple of months ago, and it made me think about the things that I was doing to combat seasonal affective disorder, or like seasonal changes and stuff that happens when winter is looming. I really, really don't like winter. I don't like it. I am solar powered. I need to be in the sun. That's just the way that I am. And so the things that I was doing that I didn't know that I was doing until this person asked this question was a couple of things. I was counting down the days until the winter solstice. So if you don't know, that is the shortest day of the year. It's the shortest daylight hours. It happens in June here in Australia because we're in the southern hemisphere. And for me, that is such a signal. It is just like the signal of hope for me that the days will get longer, everything will get warmer, everything will get brighter. And so I just was counting down the days to that. Mind you, now being in August, I'm a little bit impatient for the days to warm up and for the days to get longer. Even though they have been getting longer, it's still pretty fucking cold here in Sydney. I don't know what it is about this winter, but it has been very cold. Usually I say that Sydney doesn't have winter, but this year it has really had winter. The other thing that I have done in the last couple of months to, try and keep a positive mindset is to remind myself to do the things that make me happy, and also to remind myself to try and get out in the sunshine as much as I can. So whether that is in the morning, if it's not super duper cold outside, I go and I sit on my balcony and I meditate for at least 5 minutes, or I go for a lunchtime run, or I go for a walk on the weekend or something like that. I just try and get out in the sun and enjoy it as much as possible, because I think that is a really important factor in reducing any kind of seasonal depression symptoms. It's really just about vitamin D and appreciating those things. I've also been trying to convince myself that I like the cold. I'm physically allergic to the cold. I get a histamine reaction when I am in the cold. Like, I break out in hives. It is not fun. So it's very difficult for me to like the cold. I used to live in Canberra and it was freezing, and that's when I learned that I had this allergy. It's literally an allergy to the cold. Anyway, I have been trying to appreciate the fact that it's cold and it's nice to cuddle with my husband either on the couch or in bed, and, curl up with a tea and a blankie and read a book or something like that. But really, I am just looking forward to spring and to summer, when I can just breathe a little bit more and I don't have to be covered in clothing, and yeah, that'll be really, really, really nice. Okay. I'm drinking this tea before it goes cold. Do you want some tea ASMR sounds? Is ASMR still a thing on the internet? Let me know if I can still change careers. I think that I have maybe one more question to answer. And it's from my friend Matt. And he asks, what inspired your sewing clothes making passion? I love this question for a number of reasons, and I have thought about this question for quite a while since he sent it through. First of all, it's really only developed into a passion in the last couple of years. I think this channel has had a big influence on that passion developing. The main reasons that I sew and I make my own clothes are because it goes back to like not fitting in. I just cannot fathom, I just cannot comprehend how people can intuit trends. Or when I was in high school, people would just you'd come to school on a mufti day, which is what we call like a casual clothing day, because in Australia we have uniforms that we wear all the time, and then to do fundraising they'd be like, okay, great, come in your casual clothes and give us a $2 coin. But on those days the girls would all come dressed in similar outfits, and I just would have no idea how they all knew that is what was trendy and what they should be wearing. I just have never been able to pick up on trends. I naturally resist trends because to me, I just can't wrap my head around them. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I just have this sort of inbuilt non-conformity to an extent. I also, maybe it's because to me it seems wasteful to jump on a trend and then toss all those things away and pick up something new all the time. It doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather have quality things. The other thing is, because I don't really like trends, I have spent an inordinate number of years trying to define my style. I know that my style is not trendy, and so when I was in school or even after school, I found that I couldn't find the things that I wanted to wear, and so I learnt to sew because I wanted to be able to make them myself, which is really cool. And I think that started because my mum sews, and she learnt to sew when she was in high school, and when we were little she would make us costumes and different outfits for stuff and dresses and whatever. And I guess I've always just really enjoyed the process of having an idea, choosing a fabric, and then seeing it come to life by choosing a pattern and cutting it out and putting it all together. It's a really cool process to be able to have an image in your head about what the thing is that you want, and then to be able to make it come to life. And I think that probably also what drives me a lot in architecture, because you have to be able to have faith that your visualization, the thing that you can see in your mind, can be brought to life. And it's a really, really amazing process. So yeah, that is probably one of the main reasons that I sew. The other thing is that I'm just a massive tight ass. I do spend money on stuff, but I also like to get the most value for that money. Oh, I got some extra tea leaves in that gulp. So I don't know where I got this trait from. Probably my dad, because he can not throw anything away. He's a hoarder. I'm a bit of a hoarder too, to the point where I've had this jumper for too long. This jumper was the topic of my very first YouTube video back in, what would that be, 2020? And I'd already had it for a couple of years at that point. Still going strong. It's a cheap jumper, but I want to get the most out of it. I will wear this until it dies. And I bought another jumper this winter to try and replace this one, but I still prefer this one. Anyway, I'm a massive tight ass, and what you learn from when you do sewing is that you learn to appreciate quality in garments, and you learn to see where corners have been cut. And so too often I go into a shop and I see something that is cool or that I would like to buy, and I inspect it a little bit further, and either it is not made very well, or it's not finished properly, or the cost is just like unjustifiably high for what it is. So for me, then I just think, well, if I'm going to spend the money, I might as well spend less money buying fabric and more time making it myself. Because also through the process of making, I learn more and I gain more skills so that I can make more complicated things in the future as well. Every now and then I find something that I'm just like, I cannot be bothered to make this. So it's good enough quality that I can justify buying it. So yeah, I kind of balance my tight arsery with my skills and my willingness, or my time availability. Sometimes I just don't have time. So yeah, that is what started my sewing / what did he call it? My sewing / clothes making passion. That's basically what started it. My mum and everything she taught me, and now I teach her things, which is really cool. And yeah, basically just being a tight ass. And also I really enjoy figuring stuff out. I like making stuff. So yeah, it makes me happy when I can think of something to make and then bring it to life.
I just got back from a run, but I remembered that someone else sent through a late breaking question that I wanted to throw on the end of this video because I thought it was a really good one. They sent it through the anonymous link. They ask, "Hi Steph, what's your wardrobe colour palette? Hope you're staying warm and cozy. Love from a fellow Sydney-sider." Hello, fellow Sydney-sider. I am staying warm and cozy. In fact, I have the heater on right now. Thank God it's stopped raining. This year we've had absolutely record-breaking rain. It's been insane. We had more than the average monthly rainfall within 24 hours the other day, which is just wild. Anyway, my wardrobe colour palette is something that I'm still trying to figure out, but it is very colourful, and I am one of those people that has a neutral skin tone, so I don't actually know what my colours are. I've never had my colours done per se. I don't think I'm very like bright spring or anything. I think I'm probably more like a warm summer, or whatever you call it, warm autumn. That being said, I do have the occasional cool toned item in my wardrobe that I really like to wear. In winter my skin goes a bit paler, so I wear more cooler toned things, and in summer I go a bit more tanned, so I wear more warmer things. But I think that I think I suit more of this like warmer, richer tone than like a cooler, brighter tone. I don't know though, and it's something that I want to explore a bit more. But I am also one of these people that can fortunately wear yellow. This is what I'm working on at the moment. Stay tuned. It's going to be finished very soon. I'm very excited about it. The other thing that I've been looking at more lately though is the, I don't know how to say it properly, kibbie style guide or whatever it is, and like dressing more for your body shape and type based on that system rather than other systems, I think. And I think that over the years I've just kind of realized what colors and shapes work on my body, and then I kind of researched more into the kibbie style thing, and I think that what I've realized is that there are quite a few things in my wardrobe that don't really fit what I am. Would be a flamboyant gamine because I'm quite short, but I'm angular and have a couple of interesting features, like my extremely pointy nose. Have you ever seen my pointy nose? My husband likes to point it out a lot. Calls me Stephanie of the pointy chin. I have a very pointy chin, like it's very bony. Anyway, what I'm realizing is that the things that I gravitate towards definitely fit the flamboyant gamine description more than other things in my wardrobe. And I think that even though there are things in my wardrobe that I really love, I have to learn to maybe let go of those things, because I definitely suit more of what fits into the flamboyant gamine kind of guide. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then go look at it. If I am feeling so bold, I might do a video about it. I would have to premise that with the fact that I have not researched it that much. I don't own any literature about it. It's only things that I read about on the internet. Hopefully that answers your question about the colour palette of my wardrobe. At the moment I'm going through a bit of a less of a colourful phase. I'm feeling myself transition from being a quite quirky, outgoing, colourful person, and I think it's maybe a function of age or a function of maturity or awareness, or I think I'm just evolving, and that is totally what should happen in life. But I have been gravitating to and wanting to consolidate a bit more of an elegant, refined, restrained but still edgy and a bit funky style, but without going full art teacher. That's what I call it, because the art teacher at my primary school, she was like the substitute teacher that ran a lot of classes if the teacher was sick, and her name was Mrs. Salmon. No, like absolutely her name was Mrs. Salmon. I'm not lying about that. And she had like just full single colour outfits that she would wear that were like these great big flowy muumuu things with like matching pants and shoes and jewelry, and even down to like matching reading glasses. She had like 7 or 8 sets of pairs of the same reading glasses that she would colour coordinate to her outfit. So whenever I find myself wearing something a little bit too over the top, it reminds me of Mrs. Salmon. She was great, but I want to try and be a little bit more refined and elegant and feminine these days, less so much sort of just out there, crazy, quirky, autistic person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just I feel myself gravitating away from that for now, because I think I'm just growing up and realising that, yeah, I should probably, well, not should, that I want to dress a bit more grown up. So anyway, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that answers your question, and I hope that you've all enjoyed the video, because I can't remember how I wrapped this up, so I'm just going to try and wrap it up now. I'll see you next time for another video where I think I'm going to show you this yellow tartan thing, which you might have remembered from my Sewing the Stash intro video. Spoiler alert, it's not a blazer.